Dungeons and Dragons.
And junk drawer.
What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Junk Drawer
Ding!
Nights.
Ooh.
We are here with Carlos, who doesn't have a shout out. We're gonna just try and get into this as quickly as we can. Mike is gonna shout out some social media for us. So in the field to you, Mike.
Yeah, if you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Junk Drawer Show. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you follow and subscribe to our Twitch at The Junk Drawer Show. Follow us at The Junk Drawer Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And other quick shout out to my family dog, Ralphie. Love and miss you, buddy.
Up next, we have the Joshua Delgado.
Hey, what's up? Okay, I got two shout outs. They're both the same, so we can say it at the same time. On three, we're going to say fuck you and then say Donovan and also tech issues. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Donovan and tech issues.
Tech issues.
All right, back to you, Pat.
And Jeff Bezos.
Sweet. I would like to shout out my brother Kenny. It is his birthday today. He is 26 years old. So happy birthday to you. Appreciate you for watching this whenever you do that, which is probably soon. I also want to shout out Mainline Marketing for giving me this awesome microphone, giving Josh his awesome microphone, and letting me record a super awesome Junk Drawer podcast with friend of the show, Aaron Baum, last Thursday. Very excited to get to edit that down and get that out for you guys that listen to us podcastily. Very excited also to record a podcast with recurring friends Craig Brooks and Sam Weitzner this Friday. So look forward to that. It's going to be a drunk drawer. But with all of that being said, Dice Daddy, give us our recap and whenever you're ready.
So, last time when we were all together, we were in the midst of battle between Vindrin and the guard of Ares and Flevlog, the fire giant. There were a lot of things that were going wrong as the chaos kind of ensued as Vindrin had revealed herself to be a copper dragon. Tails were thrown, claws were thrown, arms were ripped off, but eventually Ares and Flevlog had escaped through the archway, not before Ares slicing off and finishing off Thor's arm. Eventually, as a party and as a group, you reconvened. You started planning your next plan of attack and your next, where do we go from here? Tiburn proposed to Thok. Loki said goodbye to Jessica. And the four of you are currently in the keep with Vindrin and Valdana. And if I remember correctly, Thor had went to sleep. Is there anything that you guys were doing for the rest of the evening with Vindrin?
I think we were just getting drunk and telling stories. So.
And Thor was saying that it was not a night to celebrate, so he was on his way off to basically not partake from what it seemed like.
Yeah, not a night to celebrate, but a night to forget. Take another drink. A melon basil.
Okay, so most of the evening is fairly quiet. Vindrin does her best as memories keep flooding in from her previous life before going into hiding, and she occasionally says, oh, no, this area was like this, or, oh, I remember when I was much younger and I went here. Eventually, the hours wane, and you see Vindrin begin to yawn, and she goes, it's been some time since I've stayed here, so I think I'm gonna go to my old room. Bright and early tomorrow. Where are we going again?
We're going to the Isle of Storms. Oh, fantastic little place. Constant storm keeps anyone from getting out, and that's how Thor has so many followers. You see, he traps them. He traps them into a cloud, and then they can't get out of the cloud. Don't go in the cloud.
I'll try not to. And she looks at both you, Alder, and Thok, and goes, keep an eye on him.
I've already got 2 eyes. I don't need more. I will be
Thanks.
fine.
I'll keep an eye on him.
What do you do with a drunken sailor?
So, Vindrin does leave. The 3 of you are left to your own devices for the rest of the evening. Anything before, I'm going to assume, heading to bed and waking up?
Yeah, I think, I mean, at least from Alder's perspective, he's had the shit kicked out of him repeatedly throughout the day, and I know I want to go to bed, so.
Okay. So, one by one, I would say Alder and then Thok. I would assume you would also want to retire. You have lost a lot of blood, and
Yeah.
I would assume that your arms are very fatigued from being in that compromising position for a very long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a piece of like the sash that like hangs down from my waist and rip it and bandage, essentially making a makeshift eye patch in the meantime.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll a medicine check just to see if we can keep moisture and any kind of airborne things out.
Natural 19.
Yeah.
Plus
So
5. 24.
able to kind of fix it in a very nice way where obviously it's not the prettiest, but it's going to, no mushrooms are going to grow inside your eyes, essentially.
Aw.
Your eye
No
socket
maggots.
from the from the dark and dank cave that is now your eye socket.
Lame.
But
Yay.
you do eventually find your room, your bed that you slept in previously, and it is just lights out. And Loki, are you doing anything in particular as the last man standing?
I will look for a bottle and continue drinking.
Okay.
I would, so if there was a bottle left, I would have taken that, polished it off, gone to the back of the bar, hold on, and then taken a bottle, just started to stroll around, try to find something kind of high up that overlooks the city.
Okay. So, I will when
Sorry, Cadence was barking.
you're okay. So Loki, there's a very large array of different kind of spirits and wines and different kinds of ales. So you really have a pick of the litter. So eventually you do collect, and best view of the city would be outside on the kind of arch or the crest of the observatory, or the dome, essentially. Go ahead and roll a athletics check at disadvantage for me to see if you can climb up, because you're also shit-faced.
Oh, I wanted to go wherever I would go from the inside, though.
So it would still be the it would be the dome, but you would still have to climb up.
Gotcha. Okay. Disadvantage. Oh, I forgot my fucking tablet. Oh, okay. It's actually pretty good. It's 16 plus whatever my modifier is. I'll be right back.
I will pull you up.
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Died.
So he got a natural 16. I'll say that with some being careful, his athletics is 3, so 19.
Yes.
So with some kind of, you're very careful. There are a few slips and hiccups, but eventually you do find kind of like a nest area where you can see the smolders and the very dull, dim embers. It almost looks like there are a bunch of fireflies that are just kind of stretched out of the remains of the city. As you see things slowly like fall down, and as you uncork the bottle and drink from it again. Now, are you staying up and drinking?
What time is it approximately?
I would say it's probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah, Loki's looking out at the city, drinking, and every time he thinks about going back inside to his room that no one's in, so he can be truly alone with his thoughts, he's like, no, doesn't sound great. So he keeps drinking, and he'll start singing different shanties he can remember. Not at a crazy volume, but enough that if someone was around, they'd hear it. And at some point, he just forgets the song. And when that happens, it's almost as if he goes into a fugue state, and he just is like, okay, guess it's time to go in now. And he leaves the bottle where it is, goes back inside, walks to his room, and just falls and planks on the bed, face down.
Okay. So, the evening is fairly quiet. Thor, with going to bed the earliest, there's not much that happens. Roughly all of you have very sound sleep. I would just say Loki, because of being out late, drinking late. I will give you 1 point of exhaustion just for doing your thing, man.
Yeah. Do I still get the spells and stuff for a long rest?
Usually in cases like that, you don't gain the benefits of a full long rest. So I will say at this time, not at the moment, but you can definitely get anything that you get back on a short rest for sure.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm going to assume either Thok or Alder are going to be waking up first, mostly because I know Thok wants to be there for sunrise, and Alder is usually just an early bird, pun intended. So just want to see what you two are up to. What do you want to do with the morning?
Well, Alda is, again, he's not going to take like the full rest. He's just going to do his trance, so he'll be up in 4 hours. And realistically, what he's just going to do is, first things first, while he still has knows he has time before the others wake, he's probably going to just go outside and try and actually just observe the earth, and just to take in how much desolation has really occurred.
Okay. Honestly, as you kind of come out, that's when you hear Loki's door close and you hear a thunk on the bed. As you're
Was
like,
it on the bed or on the floor?
I made it to the bed.
roll. Let's have you roll for that. Go ahead and roll a. Let's roll an insight check at disadvantage, so you can figure out where the bed is.
Insight. Five.
So you kind of go, hello, bed. And then you immediately hit the ground and you're like, this mattress is a lot harder than I thought it was. And you reach up and you just kind of start burritoing yourself into a blanket that's on the bed that you're just like, how'd this get on the shelf? And you're just like, shh.
That's not where this goes. Ugh.
Blanket, use warmth. I cast warmth. So yeah, Alder, you eventually go out. Go ahead and just roll a perception check for me.
29.
29. I mean, you see that most of Valoria is just smolder. Everything is just kind of been flattened, essentially. You kind of go from a slight vantage point over some of the different hills. I'm assuming you're just kind of wandering around. And every once in a while you kind of crunch, and occasionally you look under and it's either bone or arm, or sometimes you find people, Drugar, anything that salamanders, anything that essentially was during this battle. Go ahead and roll a nature check for me.
19.
with the 19, you kind of squat down and you kind of scoop up the dirt, smell it, taste it a little bit just to see what kind of iron or minerals are in the soil. And since everything seems to be scorched, you do not foresee any vegetation growing here anytime soon.
Then, with that knowledge, I'm going to just druid craft as I'm walking around. I'm just going to druid craft just flower buds and just little blooms and kind of just leave them along my way. Just so that it feels like there's some life, or if there's anyone who hasn't made it, if there's any, give them some kind of hope. But obviously now that having that knowledge, I'm going to have to relay that to, know that I'm going to have to relay that to Thor and Creed and Vindrin and Valdana and let them know that Valoria might not be suitable for life anymore. Even if they are able to recover.
So essentially, you just kind of walk and you make a trail of flowers as you kind of go. And I would assume you're just relaying and surveying the damage. And it'll take a few hours, but at this point, you have time now. And I will say, Thok, you're the next to wake, since there is your internal clock knows when the suns start to rise, and so you kind of strap the armor on your back and you go to wipe the sleep out of your eyes, and you immediately feel that patch that you made of just cloth, and then the memories kind of just flush and rush into your head. And then there's a slight smile as you remember there's a very handsome blue boy who asked you to marry him.
I'm gonna, after finishing my prayers and that, I'm gonna take the holy symbol, because now that it's no longer around my neck, I'm gonna place it on my belt and find a way to either hang it or attach it to my belt in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Whether it's taking strips of leather or rope, because I'm assuming it has a loop of something because it was hanging on a necklace. So
sure.
And then from the moment I wake up until the first moment I see somebody, like one of the group, come up to me, I'm gonna start reading the manual of grateful exercise.
Okay.
And start analyzing that. So I don't know how long that would be, but I will begin to do that.
So let me see here. Manual. I believe it's over the course of
6 days.
Yes.
I have to read 48 hours. 6 days.
Yep. So just take your time with it. Obviously, you don't have trouble with all the words.
So, but I have to like depth perception.
Essentially, you want to spend 8 hours a day reading this.
Yeah.
So I will say that as you're kind of like situating, you do see that there is, amongst all of this ash and dirt, you do see that there is a small trail of just flowers that kind of go into the city. Now, Thor, you're the last one to wake up.
Oh no.
Your head feels like it's been cracked open, razor blades have been put in there, and then your head just got shaked really hard. And you kind of get up, you go to scratch, and your left arm is cold. Hurts a little bit as you kind of go, and you just feel the piece of bicep that's left. As similar to Thok, memories of the day before kind of rush through your head, and you know it's a new day and you know what you have to do. So what are we doing?
Uh, so I'm gonna get up and kind of take a long look. I would assume there's like a reflective surface somewhere in my room.
Yeah, it's in the bedroom. If I remember correctly, last session you did see yourself for the first time in that reflective mirror.
Right. And I believe last session I showered as well. Kind of
Yes.
got clean and scrubbed myself. So I would just take a minute again and kind of stare at myself in the mirror. That is going to take some getting used to. All right. And I'll look down on the floor and see my adamantine plate that Thok had picked up for me and the blue dragon scale armor and be like, oh, fuck. Okay. Gonna figure out how to get out of. I'm gonna get into that somehow. And I'm gonna try and like get in the plate.
Okay.
I would assume that it doesn't go well.
We'll see how bad it goes.
Okay.
Go ahead. We're gonna do only because it's heavy. Do a athletics check at disadvantage.
Oh, I'm good at that though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Disadvantage 17.
17. So essentially, you're able to get the boots, the bottom piece, the cod piece on, because it's a lot of strapping onto. It's the
Right.
chest and the arms that you're having an issue with.
Okay.
Because eventually you're just kind of wearing these metal trunks.
Cool. I'm gonna grab the breastplate and the chest part, and then go over to Valdana's room, and just knock on her door and see if she's awake. And if she's not, I will wake her up.
You kind of knock, and the door is not latched, so it slightly opens, and it looks like she's cleaning her armor as she kind of looks up, and you see a soft kind of smile as she looks back at her armor and starts.
You fell asleep really early last night, and I'm a little disappointed. We had s'mores, and there was dancing, probably.
And she kind of smiles. She goes, I don't really feel like dancing right now.
Oh, that was a complete lie. I have no idea. I also went to sleep right away. This weird kind of thing happened yesterday where I lost most of my arm. So I'm struggling to get this on. Could I get some assistance from you here? Can't really do the straps in the back and on the sides because
She smirks. She's already getting up as she puts her hands out for you to put the armor in.
I'll put it in her arms.
And she kind of smirks and she goes, adamantite. That's nice.
Oh yeah, Thok got it for me in Falsera. I asked them to pick it up and they got it. Vindran gave me some blue dragon armor that was Anya's at one
You got
point.
the blue dragon armor.
Yeah, it doesn't fit me though because Anya is not the same size as me. So,
Well, she fought in the Dragon Wars and that.
yeah, I would like to see if I could find a skilled craftsman or blacksmith somewhere where maybe they could like combine the two because I just bought this and I'm invested in it. I don't know if there's enough dragon scale armor for me to use that all over. Or maybe we could like put it in patches and places.
And she's strapping you in, and she's behind you as she's putting the back plate in. She goes, "Well, you can always go to the person who made it. You can go to Yinsen."
Yinsen?
Oh, sorry. I always forget you're not from here. There is a town that's in a crater. It's called Lock. And amongst it is a very small gentleman. Used to be an adventurer. Stout little fellow halfling. Name was Yinsen. Used to make all of their leather armors. Did the dragon. I know that she did Finn's Bahir armor. It's very high quality. Nothing else like it on the material plane.
Yinsen, got it. And if I have any left over, you could probably use some dragon scale on your armor, right? It's a thing that you would like as well.
She smirks as she lifts your right arm up as this big hulking beef of just arm goes up, and she goes, "Yeah, we'll see if there's any left for me." As she's putting on the cuffs.
I mean, I've lost an arm. That's like a lot of area. So like, one of my arms is probably like a leg and a half for you. So
Well, I can get pants.
yeah, no, they would be really blue and
Some nice
scaly.
shorts.
Yeah, no, the cutoff look it's coming back. So
And she kind of finishes, and eventually her hands are kind of on the chest plate as she looks up at you, and she goes, "Are you doing all right?
well, what do you mean?
You lost your arm. The person who destroyed your home left, and my aunt died. Are you all right?"
Val, I am anything if not resilient. So I'd be more worried about what Loki's going to do than what good old Thor is up to.
If you're lying, go ahead and roll a deception check.
1,000%. No,
Of course you are. Go
doing
roll a deception check.
fucking terrible. Oh, natural 1. The dice fucked me there.
And
That's a 4, by the way. That's a total of 4.
yeah. It's
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
eventually you're getting the words out, and you start repeating things, and you start getting nervous, and you start getting choked up. And eventually Valdana kind of like looks at you, and she cups her hands around your face as you kind of look back at her, and your eyes are starting to well up a little bit as she looks at you and just kind of sees you.
This man I didn't know existed took everything from me. No, Val, I'm not. I'm not okay.
And she kind of looks at you, and eventually the cup of the arm kind of slowly brings you over. She's not very tall, and you kind of kneel a little bit, but she takes your head and she puts it there as you kind of grab with your good arm, as she just kind of plays with the back of your head, tries to console you. She goes, "Me too, sir. Look at the bastard, eh?"
There will there's a price to pay. You don't get to do the things that he's done to an Odinson and walk away free and clear. So, and Thor kind of stands up straight and wipes his eyes and puts his helmet on. Yeah, so
Put the wings up.
yeah, the wings go up. I'm gonna finish getting ready. I know we're leaving for the Isle of Storms today. Are you staying on the island, or are you coming with us, or are you what do you want to do, Val?
I am wherever you need me to be.
I mean, it's going to kind of... Where do the people need you to be? Because we have Thok, or at least most of him. Sorry, joke in poor taste. There's more of him left than there is of me. So, yeah, we've got Thok for that. If you'd like to tag along, we are going to go to Asgard. That's where I'd like to bury Anya with the kings and queens of Asgard, where she belongs.
And she kind of thinks it over for a moment, and she goes, "You have to bring me a souvenir back."
I can do that.
All right.
And Thor's going to kind of just look at the ground and for the first time since all of this has transpired, I feel like he's going to smile or at least smirk.
Yeah.
And then kind of comes to the realization that he's still got half an arm, a quarter of an arm, and he's going to just kind of look at her and, I'm sorry to bother you. I will let you get back to your armor for that guy.
And she kind of smirks as you start to head to the door, and she goes, "Oi, Thor."
Hmm.
And she puts up her arm, her right hand, and goes, "You're all right." And goes back to start polishing, as you see this very small little smirk show up on her face.
I mean, it could be worse, I guess. There could be some left. Oh, there is some. And Thor's going to walk out. And he's going to go back to his room, sling Yarnbjorn on his back,
Yep.
and go into Loki's room and wake him up.
Okay. Loki, I'm assuming, I don't even have to assume, you've had a very fucked up night. You've had a concussion. You were incredibly inebriated. I will say you're still slightly warm, so slightly drunk. And you're kind of just like, your face is down on the ground, and it's that restless sleep that you know you're sleeping. You know your eyes are closed, but your brain won't fucking turn off. And your brain's stupid because it doesn't remember everything.
Oh, by the way, for everyone that watches, we did level up. We're level 14 now, so just another little note.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that happened.
Woo.
Okay. So, Thor, as you kind of come in, you see this very, like, shallow breathing, occasionally stirring, moving Loki.
I would
On the
assume
floor.
there's like a basin of water that he would kind of have been able to use had he had the ability to like clean his face or yeah. So I'm gonna just take like a handful of that, just cup it in my hands, and just drop it on his face.
There, I will say there's a shaving basin, and with
Okay.
shaving basins, it's just essentially just a big metal bowl that you can move. Like if you're in front of like here, and you can shave in front of the window, or you can shave in front of the vanity.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna get that and just like tip it a little bit and
Okay.
hit him in the face with some water.
Okay, roll a sleight of hand for me at disadvantage.
Cool. Okay. I wish it was at advantage, but still not the worst. 13.
13. So you spill a little bit more than you anticipated, but you don't pour
wanna
the
drown
entire. Yeah, you don't want to waterboard him, so you don't. But essentially, Loki, you were hit with this kind of icy cold water that just, with all your brain stuff and your head stuff and your sleeping stuff, it doesn't feel great. It feels like a million little pins just poking you in the face.
Oh, I said I'm not thirsty. Not.
Oh, you looked like you were quite thirsty last night, brother.
Yeah, that's why I'm not thirsty now. I drank everything I wanted to last night.
Well, it is now the morning, and we need to get going.
Going where?
To the Isle of Storms? Did you
what-
forget that was a...
Are we not there
We-
now?
No, no.
All right.
We are.
Wake me up when we're there. And Loki lays down again.
And it's kind of like when you're in the sleeping bag, so it's just head, and then the rest of him is just kind of in a cocoon, and he just sits up, and then you just see.
I'm gonna be a
Ow.
butterfly.
Is he
gonna
actually
get you.
like in a sleeping bag?
No, but he is wrapped up in the sheets. Essentially, he's just like a burrito.
Got it. Does he have all of his stuff on him, or is it strewn about the room, or?
No,
Uh,
it's on.
There you go.
Cool. I'm gonna grab the sheet that he's sleeping in and just drag him, out into the main foyer area.
Okay. As Loki, I'm not even gonna have you do the strength check because you're fine because you're Santa Claus in it.
Yeah.
Fool, this
so-
is what I wanted the whole time. As Loki just
Slowly.
lays down and just lets it happen.
Start to get dragged, and eventually you put one little hand out and you take your spear, so the spear is dragging behind you because you're holding it by the pointy end. So you just hear as eventually you guys get to the dining hall, and Thok and Alder are kind of nowhere to be seen. So you can either decide to stay here for breakfast, or you can go outside, see if you can find your compatriots.
One quick addendum.
Yeah.
I would have cast Mage Hand and have the Mage Hand carry it,
Okay.
so I can sleep.
So Glover is currently manning the spear.
I would stay for breakfast because I skipped whatever the fuck was there last night. And before breakfast is ready, I would kind of get Loki in a position where he's not in the middle of everything, but he's visible. And I would go into Anya's room and just kind of stare at the farmhouse.
Okay. So eventually you go back into Anya's room, and because it's day, it seems the picture has changed. It's this very bright and warm kind of it almost looks like it's like a nice day in like August, really early. It's it's going to be hot, but it's not quite yet, and the sky is full of purples and oranges, and you just see far in the distance kids playing around this old farmhouse. As you kind of just lean forward and just watch it as the enchantment just kind of loops. And I'm sorry, where is Loki? He's at the table, or he's in the room?
He's just I just drug him in the room. He is somewhere. He's not anywhere that, like, if someone was to walk in the room, they'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm so surprised that there's a person here."
Yeah.
But I don't want him in the middle of the floor, so that someone, if they,
Yeah.
like, he's just in the way. I got him like propped in a corner.
You do like a rug or a
Yeah,
yoga mat.
pretty much.
You just kind of prop him, and you're just kind of like mummied as the eyes are closed, Loki.
Correct.
And eventually, what are you doing?
Me.
Yeah, you.
Is there food
Mummy.
on the table?
You can check. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
At disadvantage because he's exhausted.
Mm-hmm. He has one level.
Yeah, all ability checks are at disadvantage, you bitch.
Well, I got 12 for both, so 13.
13. So you kind of like open your eyes, and you see like strewn around. Anya tended to keep different kinds of fruits. They all look fairly fresh. It's like apples, grapes, the occasional pear. Nothing citrusy or too kind of tropic, as this is a different region of the area. And then you also do see that there are several pitchers and bottles of wine, that some are empty, some are full, some are opened, but you do see that probably to kind of dull some of the senses or fall asleep, that you would assume Anya probably drank a little bit.
How far is it from me?
I will say if you're in a box, you're in the top left corner. Thor is all the way at the bottom, and the food, I would say, is at the bottom left corner.
Okay. Then I will like throw myself up so I can start walking toward the table, still wrapped like a mummy. Just
So
get closer and closer.
you're trying to twinkle toes it.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to twinkle toes it, but it's more like a fee fi fo fum. I'm drunk as fuck. Fuck you.
I'm half giant. Eventually, yeah. Thor, your kind of fixation on this is interrupted as you hear behind you a thudding of just bare feet against this stone kind of floor.
Oh, Loki's up. And I'll get up and walk towards the fee fi fo fum.
Okay. As what are you doing there, Loki? As you see the food in front of you and you still want to be a caterpillar.
I cast Mage Hand again, and just open my mouth and have the Mage Hand put food into it. So what food is on the table? You said all fruits?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nothing acidic, I think, was a
Yeah,
specification.
nothing like citrusy
yeah, so something
or like pineapple
but
or
like
melon.
like grapes or something would be there.
Yeah.
All right, I have it pick up some grapes and just kind of put the whole bushel in my mouth. And like
with the stems and
yeah,
everything.
stems and everything. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So
It's
while
fiber. It's fine.
yeah,
I like to make the wine in my mouth.
funny you say that because as I'm eating the grapes, I command it to go get me a bottle of wine. So
Get you a bottle.
I'm just kind of like picking out the stems as they appear to me. It's not good.
This sounds like a Josh wet dream, not a Loki foray into eating. Josh is like, I don't need to use my hands to eat. I can just be fed.
Oh
Awesome.
no, yeah, I just grazed like a cow. So I've got the pre-wine and then the wine to wash it down.
Yep. And Loki is eating and drinking, standing up in a cocoon.
As I walk back, I'm gonna push on the necklace and let them know that we are awake and ready to leave as soon as they get back.
Okay. So you send out the message, Alder. I will say at this point, you're more on the outskirts of town, trying to see the damage as far as like the wildlife and the vegetation and all the fires and the soot has definitely spread. You don't know how far. And occasionally you'll put your hand on the remnants of a tree and all too familiarly, it just kind of crumbles under your hand. And eventually you find a nice little rock to sit on.
And with hearing that message, I'll be like, touch the necklace and be like, been up for a while, just surveying some of the damage. And then just, he's not really hiding anything, but you can tell that there's just sorrow in his voice, and he just says, I'll be there in just a moment. I'll head back now.
And Thok, you also get this this message as you kind of look up from your book and you see a couple of yards away is still hazy, almost not completely clear but not completely opaque is Manu, and it seems like he's in a kind of a longer robe, almost like a coat, and he has his hands in his pockets and he's just looking at the sun. Suns.
First, I touch the necklace and say, sorry about that. Cool. We will meet you guys in a few. I'll be on my way shortly. And then I start walking up to Manu and just walk up behind him and stare off the same direction and be like, copper piece for your thoughts.
And you hear him breathe, and when he kind of speaks, it's almost muffled, like there's interference between what he's saying and what you're hearing, and it's like a combination of shouting into a very small enclosed space underwater where it's a little hard to understand him. And he looks at you as he's talking, and you can see him realize that he isn't able to communicate as well as he usually is.
But I could still understand the muffled, or
Go ahead and I'll have you roll an insight check only to see if you can read his lips.
29.
29. So you're able to dictate what he's saying, the gist of you know, something happened when I fought Manu. I don't feel right. Can you hear me? And then obviously a panic, and he goes, I don't understand what's wrong. I can see through me. I'm cold.
I can't hear you well. The only reason I'm understanding what you're saying is because I'm reading your lips. But I don't know exactly what happened either. But we'll figure it out. Man, I made you a promise, and I would try my best. I just hope it's in time.
And he just kind of looks at you, slightly defeated. And you can see with earnesty, and you read his lips, he just says, I'm sorry for everything. Before he starts to kind of walk, and you see his figure start to get lighter and lighter before it just kind of shades off.
And in my head, I think, whether or not he hears me or not, I think to him, there's nothing to be sorry for. If you would have never arrested me or had me arrested, I would have never been on this interesting adventure with this group of people. And they would have never pulled me out of a dark place as they did. And I turn around and I start walking towards the dining hall. I'm assuming is where Loki and Thor are.
They didn't give you specifics, but you're the first to get back to the keep. And I would assume you're either still in the Queen's room, or have you guys migrated?
I migrated to where there would be food.
Oh yeah, where was I? Oh, I thought we were in the dining hall.
No, you
You
were in
were.
Anya's room. Oh, I thought he was
He
in
was
Anya's
not.
room.
No, he took.
No, I left him in the main.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when
So-
when Thor would have said that, I would have touched my necklace from under my cocoon and said, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's all meet in the dining hall. I'll get there first." And then kind of slump down while still chewing the stems of a grape.
Okay. So
Which
you're
is
just-
perfect because that's where I would be headed.
So you're kind of just gnawing, and eventually, Thor, you kind of get back, and you do see that Vindrin eventually gets up, and she goes, I'm just going to fix some things up for you guys. Anything in particular?
Any and all food is appreciated here.
She looks at you and she goes, I can do food.
Is she near me as well?
She could be near you, yes.
Have you got anything for? And Loki points to his head. The soft thing that I've gotten here.
Your thoughts?
No. The real physical thing you can touch. The
Your skull?
the thinkies. You know, the wrinkly thinky thing.
Your brain.
Yeah. I've got one of those, and it's not happy at the moment. Who are you? I'm just kidding. Can you help me, please?
And she kind of looks at you and she goes, I'm not a miracle worker, but I'll try to figure out something to make your head hurt less.
Thank you. It's okay. It's not your fault. You're a sweet baby angel. It's definitely Alder's fault.
Okay.
In case you're wondering who to get mad at, it's not me. Don't get mad at me because I'm a sweet baby angel just like you. Just get mad at Alder. And he kind of like slides down a little bit.
And she kind of watches and goes, okay.
And then I'm back at this point as well, right?
I would say at that point, before she kind of leaves and she looks at you, Thor, and goes, I'm 780 years old. I mean, I haven't been called a babe in quite some time, so watch him.
He's going through some stuff.
Oh, yes, I can certainly tell. She faces. So, yep, Thok, you're the first one kind of there. And Alder, I would say within the next 20 minutes or so, because you were already starting to head back, you eventually get to the keep as well.
How much of my book would you say that I've read since dawn until they called?
I will say dawn was maybe at about 5, and it is currently about like 9, so about 4 hours. So
Okay.
halfway. As you kind of dog ear the book.
Oh no, you're gonna ruin its value.
It's a magical book. It'll recharge itself. So I'll walk in and sit down with Loki.
Yeah.
I'm also there.
Okay. Then I'll sit down with y'all and be like, so, how you feeling? Kind of look like shit.
Oh, thank you. I'm surprised you can see with,
One eye.
Oh no, like you're on my blind side. I was talking to your brother.
Oh, perfect. I also look like shit. Look what I have. And I'm just going to kind of wave whatever is left of my arm.
Yeah.
I
So the half
wish-
bicep kind of chicken wings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think I could do anything about that. But what's wrong with you? And I look at Loki. Can I tell what's wrong with him just by looking, or?
Go ahead and roll a medicine check for me.
He put a blue streak in his hair.
Dark timeline.
17.
You can tell he is still inebriated. Not to the extent of like he's shit-faced, but he's still currently drunk. It's a race against time.
So I've seen this before.
You've done it before.
Yeah, Thok, I'm just living my best life. Win in Rome, am I right?
Yeah, but we need you, big brain boy, with what's about to happen. We're going back to both of your homes.
Oh, yeah, and I can sleep on the way there, and then I'll be fully rested, and then I will, of course, guide the rest of you. As he kind of like
What a leader.
wavers.
At that point, I would assume that Aldous probably walked in, and then I'm just gonna kind of just jump in and be like, "You do realize that if I get us to Asgard, we're going to get there immediately, not like it's gonna take a couple hours, right?"
Yeah, well, we're not going there first, are we?
No. We are going to ride on the back of a dragon first.
Yeah, strap me down. I'll be fine.
Speaking of that, Thor, where's Vindran at? I need to go talk to her if we're gonna try and make this Asgard trip work.
She is making us breakfast. Something you used to do and haven't been doing, and I'm kind of offended by it.
Do you even love us
Like-
anymore?
I feel like we've been fighting in a war for like 3 weeks without, knowing anything of that was going on. So yeah, I mean, sorry about that. My bad.
Yeah,
help
excuses.
her with
You know
breakfast.
what? If you really care about someone, you make them a priority. I need breakfast
Loki,
every
shut
day. Every day. I'm so famished. Can't you look at my gaunt body that I need food?
I'm going to take an unarmored strike, punch at Loki's face.
I mean, he's not moving, so you don't really have to roll for that. What's your modifier for that when you hit?
That's, I mean, not good. That's not what I do.
Yeah, you did an unarmed strike, right?
Yeah, no, it's a +5. So,
It's a +5, I believe, to hit, and then it's 1.
1 point of damage, yeah.
One
So I
point
mean,
of
I'm not
damage.
even trying to do damage. I'm just like, dude, shut up. That's all I'm trying to say.
Loki casts Mage Hand and slaps him in the face with the full 10 pounds of force that he can hold.
Go ahead. I'll have Glover roll an attack check.
Okay. How does that work? Is it my unarmed strike?
No. I'll say it's
Let me see if
God,
there's
what is
something in there.
Glover's?
I mean, it would still be at disadvantage because of his state, correct?
Ah, man. I don't know. I don't know if Glover's drunk. That's the question.
Is he being
The
controlled,
question is,
or
does
he be
Glover have
ordered?
sentience, or does he not have sentience? We'll say, for sake of argument, yes, it would be at disadvantage because it is an extension of Loki.
Okay.
So use your you can use your strength modifier.
Well, one was a natural 20.
Mm-hmm.
The other, not quite that. 10 plus 3, so 13.
It doesn't hit.
You awkwardly put the hand out, and it just kind of caresses Alder's face very weirdly.
Seeing that I missed, I put one finger in his mouth to assert dominance.
And Glover's finger goes into your mouth there, Alder. As you're like,
I'm just gonna. Breakfast is on its way.
Please stop. Don't. Yeah.
Maybe later.
And then I go back to the kitchen to find Vindran.
Okay. It doesn't take you long. The kitchen isn't very far, and it is fucking massive. It's huge. I would say it's almost the size of the kind of room where you had everyone huddled up. It is filled with tables. It is filled with rows and rows and rows of different places where you could prep and clean and cook, and there are pots everywhere. And you just see Vindran, and she is in dragon form, but I'll say it's not full size. Wings are kind of tucked back, but she's using it to her advantage where she can kind of move and bring things over. And she kind of takes notice of you, and she goes, this used to be my husband's kitchen. And when the Triquetra found him, he was stuck under a cabinet. And he had been there for 200 years. Waiting. Talking to himself.
Jeez.
Yeah, we were on a break. Stress eating.
Gotcha. Oh, that sounds terrible. Can I help?
Oh, please. I just need you to watch. And she just kind of brings over to different pots. She's like, I just need you to watch that. And then if you could just slice that would be great. And you just kind of move together. She gets a little bit smaller, and eventually it's kind of like this half Vindran you saw earlier where it's the Amazon, but it looks more dragon. She looks more dragonborn now.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, while I'm in the middle of obviously cooking and prepping and cutting and sautéing and everything, I'm just gonna be like, I know how much you're helping us already, but in order for what Thor wants us to try and do, I have a favor to ask.
And she doesn't look up as she's cooking, and she goes, what's the favor you're looking for?
I need an item. If you happen to have something that fits this description, I basically just need a somewhat expensive pronged metal rod.
Okay. Like a Divina's rod?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, only just obviously made out of metal rather than You know, rather than like a typical wooden diviner's rod.
Okay. I mean, I might be able to find something like that, or at least fashion something. Did you need anything else with it? Or are you
It
trying to
just
find water?
no. It just needs to be valued at around like 250 gold pieces, as you know, retail. And it also just needs to be attuned to a particular plane of existence in order for the spell that I need to get us to Asgard to work. It doesn't need to be necessarily attuned to Asgard, just needs to be attuned to a specific plane. So realistically, probably attuned to here.
Okay, so you're using it to get to Asgard, or you're using it to get to here? I'm confused.
Well, let me look at the spell real quick.
Okay.
Little of column A, little of column B.
Yeah. It just says that a forked metal rod worth at least 250 gold pieces attuned to a particular plane of existence are the components, and then the spell. You and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are transported to a different plane of existence. You can specify a target destination in general terms, such as the city of brass on the elemental plane of fire, or the palace of Dispada on the second level of the 9 hells, and you will appear in or near that destination. If you are trying to reach the city of brass, for example, you might arrive in the street of steel before its gate of ashes, looking for the city from across the sea of fire at the GM's discretion. It essentially does not hold on here. Alternatively, if you know of a sigil sequence of a teleportation circle on another plane of existence, this spell can take you to that circle. If the teleportation circle is too small to hold all the creatures you transported, they appear in the closest unoccupied space next to the circle. So it doesn't specify that the attunement of that plane of existence will take you to that plane of existence. So that's why I was assuming like attuning it to your home plane would kind of make the most sense thematically.
You would just have to find someone from that home plane or someone who knows of a teleportation circle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was attuned to my home plane, then we can use it to travel to other places, and then obviously use the spell to come back as well. Obviously it's your discretion, but that's my interpretation of how it's supposed to work.
What's it called?
Plane shift.
Shift. Okay. While you guys are doing that, I'm just going to read this. We will go back to the table of Thok, Thor, and Loki. Please discuss what you guys are going to be doing.
So, Thok, you've been on this plane longer than Loki and I. Do you know of a place called Lock? It's a big crater.
I know of Locke, right?
Your friend Shart lives in Lock.
Yeah. Actually, I do know of a place named Locke. It's about oh wait, but how far from Valoria?
It is, I would say, if Valoria is more north, I would say it's towards the east. It's not entirely far. I would say maybe like if you're going on horseback, it would be like maybe a 2-week, 3-week thing.
Yeah, it'd be like 2 or 3 week ride to get there.
Well, there is a man there that can craft armor. I want to try and get him to kind of merge the blue dragon scale armor I got from Vindrin and this. His name is Yinsen, so that would be something I'd like to do at some point in the future. But in the meantime, I think today we fly to the Isle of Storm, and then once we get there, Vindrin can start doing what she does, prep camp, start creating places for people to live, and we'll go to Asgard and bury Anya's body and do all of that. fun stuff.
Hi, but should he probably be on his right mind?
Who?
Loki.
If we are waiting for Loki to be in his right mind, we'll never get to Asgard.
I'm always in my right mind.
We're not waiting, and I put my hand on Loki's hand and cast Lesser Restoration to remove poison, specifically alcohol.
So the alcohol leaves your body, Loki, and you are severely hungover as you are dehydrated as hell.
Oh, fuck you, Thok. Oh, I had a plan. I had
Look,
a plan
I'm sorry,
to
but
get out of
right
here and
now,
not hurt my head.
if
Oh!
you want my sympathy,
It's like
look
he's
in the
yelling.
dictionary between shit and syphilis.
I
That's where
don't.
you'll find
I'm
it.
not even hearing a word you're saying because you just made my head so loud I can't hear even myself talk.
I tap his forehead and cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
for thematic
Cast it.
purposes. I know that he's at full, but
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not at full.
oh, you're not? Okay,
No,
then I'll rule.
I
No,
only
he
got
didn't take
short.
a rest.
I only got short rest.
Okay, then I will touch his forehead and cast Cure. Actually, cast Cure Wounds. 13
13.
at
Okay.
a level 1.
So that
Oh.
severe hangover is now just kind of like a dull headache in your frontal lobe.
Oh, that. Oh, thank you. I'm not mad at you anymore. I do need water though. Is there water around here? And Loki stands up and just starts looking around for water in a very. Hello, water.
Stalls.
I could use you.
You see what I mean?
I think I made a terrible mistake.
Really
You
using the
see?
space.
I told you,
I sure
in
know
his right
water.
mind, we would not be going to Asgard ever.
Can I tell if something's wrong with Loki, or if like this is just him being Loki?
That's Loki. Are you being weird, or are you just being? Are you putting on a performance essentially, or are you being genuine?
That's a hard question. I'm always putting on a performance, so yes and yes.
So, I would say, roll a performance check, because I
At
have a feeling.
disadvantage.
I would say because I would have a feeling that you're kind of freaking out inside about all the big gaps in your memory, and you're just trying to compensate by being like, I'm overconfident. And Thok and Thor, I'll have you both roll insight checks on his performance.
Well, we're rolling insight. What did you say?
Insight, yes.
Okay.
28.
Natural 20 for a 21.
It's fine, guys. It was a 13.
So what do you say to them to convince them?
Wait, did you say something? What did you say?
Essentially, Thok was like, "Are you all right?"
I'm better than all right. I'm awake, but I'm very thirsty. Do I see any water on the table or anything?
I'll say they were like, there's like a pitcher of water in like a brass kind of pitcher.
Okay, then I walk up to the water and I grab it like Ron Swanson drinking a jug, and I just throw it over and I drink as much as I can, but I expect most of it to go in my body.
Okay. So go ahead and do a sleight of hand check there. Disadvantage, please.
Doesn't matter. 11.
11. Most of it does end up on your chest, but you're playing with it, man. You're going with the flow, literally and figuratively.
Ooh,
As
my morning shower.
and you just drink and spill the whole pitcher essentially.
Have I seen this version of Loki before? Do I know subliminally that this is him coping?
Go
Or
ahead.
have those coping mechanisms changed in the 900 years I've been gone?
That is a Loki question.
I would say there has been some change, but
Is this a greatest hit moment? Like, is this...
no. So enough has changed, but you would have picked it up over time because you've seen Dremel for the past X amount of months. You'd be able to tell that something is happening, but perhaps not quite what is going on. but you are suspicious.
Okay. All right. I'm suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
suspicious.
Don't be
Don't be
suspicious.
Suspicious.
Be suspicious.
Well, I can tell he's exhausted, and I can get rid of the exhaustion, but I can only cast Greater Restoration once. And I don't want to use that yet.
Don't do that.
I need to let you know that as soon as we get on Asgard, we may be encountering a being known as the Destroyer. So I would hold off on burning some higher level spells.
While they're talking, Loki casts Mage Hand and is just dancing with him. Glover's on his shoulder and is just kind of like grooving.
Who's that girl?
It's Glover.
Then I will not do that for. No.
Also, just full honesty here, this is probably going to get worse when we get to Asgard. Just want to let you know.
Okay. Speaking of total honesty, heads up, I just saw Manu this morning, and it was very difficult to understand him. I think he seems to be fading away. I don't know what exactly that means, but the only reason I could understand him was because I was able to read his lips. But he's a little bit more translucent, and I think he's actually dying, which could be either a good thing or a bad thing, but I think it's more of a bad thing.
I don't think that he's dying. DM, would I be able to put together that less of Manu would mean there's more Manu tap?
You can attempt to do an intelligence check to come to that deduction.
Oof.
Or that theory.
Can I also do that at disadvantage?
Sure.
Oh, please roll better than me. That's a 7.
What is it? Investigation? Perception?
Intelligence.
No,
Intelligence. Straight intelligence. Well, 8.
It was better than you.
It was
Intelligence
better than me.
is our strong suit as a party.
Usually is. As both of you kind of like, you're not entirely sure. You're
I
not
would
very
just
familiar
say-
with ghosts.
Right. I would just say to Thok, I don't know if he's dying. There's got to be something else there. We've tried to kill him before. It doesn't really work. So I don't think he's dying, per se.
Can
he's
ghosts
fading.
die? He stops dancing and walk. Can ghosts die?
That's the thing. I don't know if he's exactly a ghost. Like, neither one of us know exactly what he is. He's not a ghost like previous ghosts that I've encountered.
Huh.
Well, we know that he fought that thing, and he lost, and that's not good. So,
And he fought it hard, too.
yeah, and there's now less of him. So that's probably not a good thing. We should probably avoid any further Manu conflicts moving forward.
Yeah. You're right. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Much appreciated. We will keep an eye out, I guess. Not that we see Manu all the time.
You're good. So what's next?
Breakfast.
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 I was just going to say, speaking of Alder, after reading through it, it looks like as long as you have an idea of where you're going, you can do that generalization of going to Asgard. Or if you want something more specific, you can do the sigil sequence for the Bifrost.
Gotcha. Okay. So as long as it doesn't really matter where it's attuned to. It's just as long as I give the general description of where we're going.
Essentially.
Okay. Cool. Then that's the Backtrack. That's what I say to Vindrin.
Okay. So eventually, I want to do the super happy ending. No.
I want to do the Thelma and Louise ending.
So.
For the
Yes,
rest
fine.
of breakfast, after we finish that, I'm going to prop my book against like a cup or a mug or something, and then like eat out of a bowl of cereal and just keep reading as I'm eating
Okay.
What
to
are
see if
you
I can get another.
reading?
Oh, dude, it's like this book of like exercises and stretches and just it helps you get swole.
It's a lot of pictures, isn't it?
I mean, there are, but look at them. Like the illustrations are fucking awesome.
It's a technical manual. Actually, it's just
too
some
sexy for
rad
my
dude
shirt.
in like pit
Too sexy
vipers,
for
and he's
my
like,
shirt.
"What's up, dude? You want to get swole, my guy? All right, this is what you're gonna do. All right, my name's Kenny. My
I was gonna say my
Ricky.
name's Bryson. My friends call me Bry. My dad calls me Son. What's up? How's it going?
You can call me Bry Dog, but you haven't earned that yet."
So, veering us back on topic, because I got us off topic, I would, once obviously Older and Vindrin come back from the kitchen, would start eating and just kind of look at everyone and debrief, let them know what our plan is, make sure Vindrin's okay with that, and to let Older know we need to get to Asgard, and kind of, I would like to drop in the area where the Bifrost would be. Would I know that that's kind of a teleportation circle?
You know it's a teleportation circle.
Cool. So I would tell him that. Or do I know of one in the castle?
The main one would be in the Bifrost. I would say occasionally, you and your brother, when you shared a room, you had a teleportation circle so you can sneak girls in.
Oh my god.
Wait, which brother?
The fun one,
So
Not the-
Talos.
not the one that was dressed like a witch.
Got
You
it.
guys
Talos.
do it. We're looking at naked ladies.
Okay, I would tell Alder about that teleportation circle then, not the one that's the big Bifrost one.
That's the fuck teleportation circle.
Yeah, the oh no, I'll give you cab fare, but it's just a teleportation circle.
Get the fuck out, bye.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good to know. I already talked to Vindrin. She's going to help us with, because unfortunately it's a spell that I do need some pieces in order to, be able to make it happen. So she's going to help us get that. Just remember that I can get us there, but I won't be able to get us back without a long rest. I know you said you think, what's his name? Helm, I believe you said, is the one who can help get us back if everything goes to plan.
Yeah, he should be able to get us back. But once we kill the destroyer, we should be able to stay in Asgard relatively safely.
Okay. Tell me a little more on this destroyer.
Big metal destroys stuff.
Okay.
Is it susceptible to fire?
No,
Is it susceptible to anything?
not really. No, it wouldn't be much of a destroyer if it was.
Yeah, like when you're talking and you talk to a wall. You know what it's like to talk to a wall, right? It's like fighting.
Who is
if
this
it was
to?
a wall, it's to everyone. I heard him
A
talking
wall.
about it. I'm like, yeah, so when you're talking to a wall and it's like, oh, you're not getting anything back, nothing's getting through. That's what it's like when you fight a destroyer.
Loki, that's a wall. We're over here.
Loki
Oh,
doesn't.
fuck.
Loki doesn't know what it's like to fight the destroyer. He knows what it's like to sick the destroyer on small children that made fun of him in school.
Yeah, and that's why I know how strong it is, because those dumbass kids couldn't do anything.
Okay, so does it just beat you to death? Does it do spells? What kind of?
Well, it
Like-
scares children.
I mean, it sounds
Like a lot.
terrifying, so I get that.
Yeah.
How does it fight you? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Any way it wants.
I will say, Thor and Loki, because you're very familiar with it, you do know that it has what your father used to call the Ray of Judgment. and it would essentially just do a beam of energy in about a 90-foot kind of line.
Oh, I saw
And
it. It shot
it
at
did.
me. Yeah.
Essentially, a creature is killed by this attack, and everything that it's wearing and carrying except magic items are essentially you're reduced to dust.
Oh, so it disintegrates.
Kind of.
Yeah. But like worse. Because it's murder and it's coming from a destroyer. So, and it's big and metal, and so we need to kill it.
Okay, yeah, I got that. Thanks.
Does it have
Alder, don't stand in front of it ever. Like, you need to go behind multiple pieces of rubble, like, just as frequently as you can. Really worried about you in this interaction.
I mean, I'll be fine.
So, does
I just
it
don't want
have
you to,
a
like,
brain?
burn up and die.
I mean, wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. So,
Well, you've not died.
You've not burned up, to my knowledge.
No, his staff.
Either?
His staff burned.
Right, but not like his entire body disintegrating into pieces that we couldn't bring back.
Unless.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've
That's
held
what
my own.
I'm afraid of. Not,
feel like
not the other thing. I know you can take a hit.
I was
I
gonna
just
say,
don't
yeah,
want
I
you-
feel like I've held my own pretty well for you to be singling me out, saying that you're worried about me in a fight. So
I just
I'm
don't want you to
confused.
disintegrate into nothingness.
Well, I mean, why do you think I'm asking questions so that I make sure something like that doesn't happen?
Loki walks up and touches Alder on the face to make sure he's real, but also to make him shut the fuck up. Shh, he's being nice.
Then, moving right along. Sorry, I do have other things I got to talk about. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but walking around, I'm sure you already know this, but I kind of just surveyed the land. Valoria is going to be uninhabitable for a while. Like
Oh,
this,
yeah. No, this place is
like-
fucked.
yeah, I know, but I like went through and like surveyed the soil. Like it's no vegetation can grow here. Like it's worse than I think I've ever seen.
Well, we can call a town meeting on the Isle of Storms when we get back from Asgard, and kind of let people know that they can stay on the island if they so choose. If they would like to leave, there will be passage from Thok, hopefully, and Loki's woman, Captain Creed. So they do not need to stay, but they are more than welcome to stay on the Island of Storms, and they will be safe and protected.
Good. No, like I said, I just wanted to make sure that I got the opportunity to bring that up before we got there, right? So that way it's not like a shock to anybody.
It's not going to be a great conversation, but
No, it's not. That's, again, want to help prep for that.
maybe we let You know what? No, I'm going to tell him. I'm not going to let. No, he's going to be like, you need to get the fuck over it. It's not a big deal, or your home was stupid anyway, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, do you cry when an anthill gets destroyed? No. There's tons of them.
I mean,
Just make a new city.
usually, but
Yeah, but you eat pine cones.
I mean, he's not wrong, but not the way you say this to a
No,
mass of
no.
grieving individuals.
I can have more tact, perhaps, if they deserve it.
Oh, brother, how I've missed you.
Loki blows him a kiss.
So, Vindran's kind of looking at you and is going, so, we're going to need also supplies to bring to the Isle of Storms. I assume it's the same as when Anya and her friends went there. There's essentially nothing.
I mean, I've not been there for an extended period of time, but there are people that live on the island. I would assume that they have farming and vegetation. And
Amongst the storm.
yeah, no, they totally survive. They are. Oh God, I can't even remember
The
what they are.
Thunderhoofs.
Right,
The,
that one.
Centaurs.
the centaurs.
Centaurs.
So say we were there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but Pat forgot what fucking lived on his island.
So-
Yeah, because that was 4 months ago.
Loki pulls out his notebook, or pulled it out as he was talking, looking at his old notes. Yes, according to my notes, they speak a different language and do not ever sneeze. They don't like when you sneeze.
Okay.
I have it. It's right here. It's written down. Don't
No,
sneeze
thank
ever.
you. Yeah. No, I got it. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
I'm helping.
You are a valuable resource.
Yes, I'm very okay right now.
Vinjen kind of crosses
Keep
her
saying
arms. And she goes, well, in my state, when I'm large, we're obviously moving the four of you, Valdonna, and essentially if I can fit anything else on my back. You've been to the Isle of Storms, yes?
Yeah.
You're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Is there any way you might be able to go to Asgard and we meet at the Isle of Storms?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
I also know of a teleportation circle in the Isle of Storms, right? Isn't there one in the temple?
There is.
Okay. We can do that. Just make sure you guys get there safely, and we'll get there as soon as we can.
Sounds lovely.
So, change of plans, I guess.
I'm going to start
Good.
preparing. I need to start getting crates together.
Perfect. Loki, can I borrow you for just a quick second alone?
Take me away, brother. And I start following wherever he goes.
Like you're in shackles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I cast minor illusion on my wrist to make it look as if I have shackles on. And for the 5 feet that I have, there's a chain going toward him. So I stay within 5 feet.
So you're like Jacob Marley from Christmas Carol.
Yeah, sure.
For Ebenezer. Okay.
And I will turn and look at Loki. Brother, we are going back home. You are aware of this, right?
I am. Though last time we went back home, I went to Jotunheim.
That is technically your blood home, but we are going home. Although we'll plane shift us to to Asgard. We are going. Are you okay with this? Are you going to be all right?
And Loki's almost in a shocked trance. So he's making eye contact, but he says nothing. It's almost as if he didn't hear you.
I can't imagine the last time you were there was positive.
Last time I was where?
Asgard.
Oh, yes. No, that was terrible.
Right. And we're going back. And it's probably worse than you left it.
Yes, I imagine so. Well,
Are you going to be okay?
I will survive. I will do what I do. I will follow along.
We have much to discuss, brother, but first let us clear this hurdle.
Yes. I will say, I am very tired, and my whole plan was to ride on Vindren's back to the Isle of Storms to be awakened.
Right.
That doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and we do
It's
have
not.
that destroyer. So, as of now, I am a liability.
maybe you stay with Alda and don't get vaporized.
Yeah, I can do that. Do I
Yeah.
do I have to hunch down to follow him?
I mean, no,
Is it-
unless you'd like to.
I thought followers were meant to be shorter than you.
Not necessarily.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. And Loki pulls out his book again. Followers can be of any height. Is there a weight requirement or limit?
No.
Any height, any weight. Got it.
You're still collecting followers for your for you.
I'm not sure. I could collect them for me. I could collect them for you. Can't collect them for father, can I? Can't collect them for mother, can I? Talos, not sure where he's at. Perhaps Creed would like some followers. Oh, that's what I could do. I could get followers for everyone. Disperse them out. And that is how I gain control. Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
Brother, stay safe. Just be careful. I'm know that I am there, and I will not be going anywhere.
I sure hope so. As he begins writing in his book again. Oh, you're here.
Yes. With that, Thor will walk back over to Alda and just be like, when is the earliest we can leave?
As soon as Vindrin lets me know if she has what I need in order to help us go. That's all I need to wait on.
As soon as you get that item, don't let us know, and we will leave post haste. I'm going to go collect Anya.
Okay.
And it kind of just stares at the group and walks off. I would have also, just a quick side note, I would have given Thok the dragon scale armor to put in the bag of holding.
Okay. I will say, as a unit, it takes about 15 or 20 minutes, but Vindrin eventually is able to procure a diviner's rod that is made out of pure gold.
Shit.
And it's still
Okay.
warm.
I'll add that to my inventory so that way I have it.
And she goes, I couldn't find something that was worth 250 gold pieces, so I took 250 gold pieces and I just melted it down. Is that all right?
It's still metal. That will work. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. She kind of smirks, and eventually her and Valdana, as you guys kind of come up to the dome of the observatory, you start prepping everything. You make sure you have everything together. Any last things you're going to do before shipping off to Asgard?
I would like to look for potions of healing or anything to... Knowing that I'm not going to be very helpful, I'd like to look for anything that I can do to support, whether it's just potions, any kind of potions, food, perhaps scraps of metal, armor, whatever.
Mm-hmm. You gather supplies, and you do end up getting 3 potions of healing. And I will say 1 potion of greater healing. Other than that, you get smaller supplies like food, and Asgard's a barren wasteland at this point. So you try to gather as much as you can as far as what you think you're going to need, and you fill this full crate kind of up with at least a day's worth of food and water and, wine. Anything else, boys?
I will embrace Vindrin and just thank her for watching over us and helping us. And I'll just kind of look at Valdana as she's preparing other things. Just say, watch out for that one. She gets in more trouble than you would think.
And Vengeance just kind of smirks and she goes, her.
Oh yeah, no, she gets into scuffles, and once saw her kill 2 guys with some lightning. It was pretty awesome.
Well, she is definitely definitely her father's daughter.
It's a firecracker over there.
Yeah.
Who's father? The Tiamat guy? That one?
And she kind of looks at you and goes, that's her grandfather. It's
Got it.
complicated.
Cool. Yeah. I've not been around, so I don't know who people are.
It's quite all right. I haven't been around for much long either, so we have a lot to catch up on, both of us.
I know Loki.
Yeah.
That's about it.
You know me now.
I know you.
That's
Fuck.
2 people, right?
And
3.
Alder.
4.
Alder counts.
Alder definitely counts.
Just because he eats pine cones doesn't mean he's not a person.
And you see her and she moves her head as one would do, as like a mother, like you keep teasing like a little brother.
I just tried to protect him and he got so upset. I don't even understand. He just does that.
Her eyes kind of flutter and she embraces you and holds you, gives you a nice little squeeze.
And I'm going to kind of like look back at Anya and just say, I'm going to just, it's going to be, this is right.
She sadly smiles as she kind of kneels towards the veil of kind of what you wrapped Anya in, and she kisses the forehead and says goodbye. And Loki, you would understand, in Draconian, she says goodbye, and I'll see you when I'm on the other side.
I would, is she on her way out, or are we on our way out?
You're on our way out.
You're on your way out. You're in like the teleportation circle as you guys are putting things together and making sure you have everything before you activate.
Okay. As we're all in the circle, I say, oh, I forgot something. And I start to run toward my room.
Okay.
Where's Vindrin right now?
Vengeance in the large room, like she's by where the body is. Because they're going to see you out.
So they're in that same room?
Yeah, they're in the similar room.
Okay.
Same room.
Then I will run to my room and investigate for anything that I forgot.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check at disadvantage, please.
18.
18. You look around, you scan. There are kind of clothes everywhere, things that you're not really that interested in. And you start to head out for the door when your hand just kind of juts out and it wraps around the Staff of Charming that you received.
Whew. Glad I got this. And I start heading back to the main chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And as I walk into the chamber, I go up to Vindrin and I like, Vindrin, thank you so much. And I give her a big hug.
And she holds you, Loki.
And as we're in our embrace, in Draconic, I whisper, help me. And I release and say, I will see you soon.
And she looks very distraught, but she plays it off as she smiles. She goes, I will see you soon. Thok, Alder.
Okay. Just go to say goodbye to Vindrin and Valdana and just basically get us prepped on the teleportation circle for us to get out of here.
You do.
And then
Mm-hmm.
no, go for it.
No, I was just going to say that Alder is able to, she gets embraced by Vindrin, and Valdana kind of just puts her forehead to his and kind of gives him a knock on the arm, like shoulder, and, gives him the whole "don't die" speech.
Don't you fucking die.
I'm not gonna fucking die.
Why does everyone think I'm gonna die?
She says that to everyone, but Alder's the only one who went up to her. Thought, go ahead.
I'm going to continue reading, and then once everybody seems to be ready, I'll head over and look in the direction that I'm assuming the Horizon and the Wandering Rose have already left.
Yep.
And kind of just think of Tibrin and say in my head, I promise, I made a promise. I have to come back. If not for me, then for you. And kind of just like pray to Pelor for safe travels for them, and turn around and head towards Alder in this teleportation circle.
Okay. So, I will say, Thok, for brevity, you get your first 8 hours down.
Okay.
As you dog ear. The 4 of you are in the circle, and Alder, through conversation with Thor, you are able to know the sequence for the teleportation circle as you take one last look at your group. Everyone clasps hands as you tap each different point of the teleportation circle, and everything kind of lifts and then goes white. I need everyone to roll a charisma saving throw.
Ooh.
And Loki, you're at disadvantage.
18.
Yes, I believe I have something for that.
16.
Okay.
That was a high roll for you.
This die, the past 2 sessions, I don't know what it's doing, but it's on crack because my modifier is a -1 on charisma saves.
I have a 0, don't worry. 11 for me.
11. Loki.
You say charisma?
Charisma.
20.
Okay. So, I will say as things slightly come back together and the visage and image of everything kind of comes down, Loki, you open your eyes and you are currently laying down. You're in a very nice springy bed. There is, eventually you kind of stir and you look down. There's an arm kind of draped over your chest. There's another arm kind of like draped over your head, and you look, it's very lean, feminine arms, and you see these tufts of just curly kind of like gold hair as you wake up in this massive bed chamber. And you kind of just look up, look to the side, and just kind of go, huh? And we'll end it there.
I'm never going to make it to Asgard.
Never again. Never again will Loki, what are you, Laufey son?
Laufeyson, yeah.
Be back on Asgardian soil.
Oh boy.
He's an Odin son.
No, he's a Laufey son.
You know what I mean.
Hyphen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm progressive. We hyphen my last
Laufey
name.
son hyphen Odinson.
Laufey Odin. Floatin.
Oh, I got a Laflodinson.
Lofton son.
Ah. That's my reaction.
Guys,
sound
thank
like
you
the Swedish chef.
so much for hanging out with us for another episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Junk Drawer Nights.
After dark.
We will be back next week. Right? We're back next week? I don't think
so.
anybody has anything.
We should be.
I mean, as long as I don't have
Um,
technical difficulties again, we're good.
I mean, you had them this week and we still showed up, so that's all that matters. We will be back next week with an all-new episode. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for dealing with our technical difficulties. We appreciate it. Happy to get some weeks in a row. It feels good to just advance the story a little bit. Josh, would you like to read some names in the chat?
Yeah. Thank you,
Good.
Gandalf the Babe, Commander Root, Discord for small streamers. The I is a 1 and the O is a 0, so they're definitely real.
Totes real.
Javelez1199, Violets TV, Workflows, and Devlin07. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you guys so much. If you are not vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, wear your fucking mask. And we'll see you guys all back here next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. I'm hiding.